Hello everyone and welcome to Tech Morning Asia Show, your source of tech news brought to you from Asia. My name is Marina Bay and I'm your host. For all those tech fans out there, you probably already know that it's been a pretty busy month here in Hong Kong, and I'll be sharing with you a quick overview of all these awesome tech events happened this month. Over the past couple of years, the Asian tech startup ecosystem has been booming. Whereas in the beginning, Asian tech companies used to be seen as copycats of existing Western models developed by big players like Google, Apple, Amazon, and Uber. Now the tremendous economic and technological growth has led to creation of a new generation of Asian tech companies that rival those to Europe and the United States. So where exactly do things stand in Asia's tech startup ecosystem? You probably all know China tech giants like Alibaba and Tencent, the analogies of Western Amazon and Facebook. So these guys are expanding out of China towards its south neighbors and investing heavily in Southeast Asia. Around $13 billion have been injected into Asia markets since 2015, according to the experts, in order to continue their dominance in regional market. And there is no surprise to that, and here's some whys. Overall population in Asia is younger and pretty much technical savvy. There are over 650 million people in Southeast Asia itself, 50% of which under the age of 30, and 90% of this has internet access. Mobile internet to be precise. You might not have money to get a desktop computer, but everyone carries a smartphone in their hands and plays around with mobile apps for either ordering a motorbike a ride or video herself eating noodles in front of thousands of people. So it's no longer a secret that the tech ecosystem in Asia is expanding day by day dramatically, and it's ready to produce even more tech companies for its fast-growing consumer base. Over the last few years, Southeast Asian tech startups attracted $7.2 billion, which make the region the owner of 9 unicorns. A unicorn is a private startup company with a valuation of $1 billion. Well, China is a leader among all. It's a home of 46 startups worth at least $1 billion. Nonetheless, Asian region is still lagging behind the US market in terms of generating tech unicorns. This shows that although Asia has come a long way in a startup ecosystem, there is still a huge room for further growth and development. For instance, there is a still big gap between early-stage investing and later-stage funding. The Asian market is very much diverse economically and culturally. That inevitably creates barriers for new businesses, along with governmental regulations that differ from country to country, and of course, there are some infrastructure difficulties as well. But hey, all this makes the tech world more exciting and give more room for creativity. Am I right or am I right? As a part of Tech Morning Asia show, it's our duty to bring more news about the dynamics of the above mentioned and demystify the Asian startup tech ecosystem. This year, Hong Kong hosts its 3rd annual FinTech Week. It's one of the largest events dedicated to financial technology in Asia. It's powered by a government agency called Invest Hong Kong and organized by the global event companies Finovate and Finovasia. And this time the event has been extended to Hong Kong's neighbor city Shenzhen. And you know why? Because the major topics of discussion of FinTech Week were around the future of financial industry in the Greater Bay Area. What's Bay Area, you might ask? Well, you've heard it. It's called Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area, China's biggest city cluster that includes 11 cities that makes the whole region more united and attractive and put itself aligned with the other well-known Bay Areas in the world, Tokyo, New York, San Francisco. Coming back to FinTech Week, the event brought together more than 8,000 senior executives and featured over 200 of world's top fintech investors, startups, and their founders. And BFast TV was lucky enough to get an exclusive interview of the winners of FinTech Week startup competition, Arrival Bank. The first fintech bank, the first crypto-friendly fintech bank. Do you want to know what the heck it means? Then watch this video clip with Igor and Jeremy now.
To tell you guys a little bit about our story, we're going after this underserved market of SMEs, so small and medium-sized businesses that are really underserved by banks and they're really disconnected from the banking system. And that's kind of been our approach from the beginning, is building a digital bank that partners with fintech. So we think the essence to a great banking experience is actually working with other superstars in the fintech space, whether it's businesses like SumUp, Stripe, or even businesses like TransferWise. So that's kind of our approach and our strategy. And really the secret to creating a bank, it's nothing too crazy, to be honest with you. I mean, I know Igor's a little bit older than me, so I think the secret is really thinking of yourself like a startup, a tech startup effectively. So at the same time, surrounding yourself with a great team, with winning minds, with experienced investors like Igor and Slava that I'm very fortunate to surround myself with. So the last year has been an incredible journey, to say the least, and I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds in store. So, a special shout out to my amazing kick-ass team, and happy Halloween to you all beautiful people here in Hong Kong. So thank you very much.
And for those of you who wants to watch the full interview with Igor and Jeremy of Arrival Bank, please find the link in the description. Alrighty, let's move on to our next event that recently happened in the tech world of Asia. And I can guarantee it will make you want to party! Last month, as we all know, Halloween was the perfect time to let your wicked side loose. Every year, Hong Kong throws some of the wildest Halloween parties, which most of us, and yes, me included, can't seem to get enough of. Since Halloween is so big and hugely celebrated here in Hong Kong, my team and I at BFast TV throw an insane Halloween party at Dragon Eye, the go-to party for all elite startups in Hong Kong. Halloween was a soft launch to our first original reality show series for entrepreneurs, Your Way to Silicon Valley. Your Way to Silicon Valley features the best startups from Hong Kong, Singapore, Korea, Japan, and the Philippines, and offers them an opportunity of a lifetime. A fully sponsored trip to Silicon Valley where these entrepreneurs will meet prominent players in startup field as well as make boundless connections. The Halloween party hosted 50 VIP guests, including our amazing members of panel, Ines Gafsi, co-founder of Female Entrepreneurs Worldwide, Miki Ganwani, Senior Partnership Director from Web Summit, and Jessie Lam, CFO of Brink. And we had 5 Hong Kong startups giving badass presentations during the party to have a chance to win at Your Way to Silicon Valley show. Okay, let me stop all this talking and let's watch the video about what happened at Halloween party at Dragon Eye. Pretty awesome, right? Here I would like to thank our dearest supporters, without who this party would not have happened. Guys from Tencent We Start, Web Summit, Meta, China Accelerator, Betatron, big shout out to you. You guys rock! Early this week, I had an exclusive sit-down interview with our handpicked startups that showcased their businesses at our Halloween party. These people are John Irimonge from IBBot, Alex Stilita from 3DK Tech, Matt Akona from Yondir, Ray Horan from Emotics, and Bradley Dowding from Silent Mode. So find out who they are and why they decided to choose Hong Kong as the right destination to kickstart their businesses. As an expat entrepreneur living in Hong Kong myself, I can think of many reasons why this city is so good for starting a business. Low tax rate, easy business setup, proximity to China market, and many more. Watch next. The entrepreneurs share with us their reasons of starting business in Hong Kong.
For myself, I came from New York City, was working in finance, was working in algorithmic trading, and started just getting excited by the technology behind it and less excited by working on a trading floor in finance. Wanted to do something different, and coming to Hong Kong was a larger kind of just make a big change in life and choose a different direction. It certainly wasn't the only place in Asia that I could have ended up, but Hong Kong, it's easy to speak English here, it's easy to meet people. That was all the reasons I kind of landed naturally in Hong Kong.
I've been here about 6 years, and what brought me here was it's localization. So the ability to work with teams and work with factories and work with vendors to produce our products and get that uplifting. I saw this as the best place to start a company and to work with the skill sets that are embedded in Hong Kong, from engineering right the way through to having China on your doorstep, to going to see a vendor and talk to them directly about how you can produce that product, overcome challenges, whilst beating time zones. A couple of hours behind the UK or any other country, it's better to be direct here at source.
Came to Hong Kong like 6 years ago to do a PhD, so had nothing to do with that. And I guess it was just the opportunity to move to a piece of Asia that still had a lower culture shock for me, since East meets West.
I came in the marketing industry because programmatic was really kind of taking off in Asia. And, you know, being in places like America and UK in the programmatic industry, we knew that there was just going to be a huge explosion here. You know, like a third of the world's mobile impressions come from this region, but all of the tech behind it was kind of quite far behind. So I knew there was going to be a kind of catch-up period where things were going to change. So it was opportunity, really.
Hong Kong really taking on the context of the Greater Bay Area. It's going to be the center of the universe for the next decade. And it seemed like a really great place to come and get a foothold, build up that business network, and go from there. Yeah.
Okay, for now we all know all the great stuff living and working in Hong Kong. What about the challenges?
Hong Kong can be tricky because it's like as you said, it's not part of China. I mean, there's a cultural difference, there's a language difference, there's a lot of differences, but at the same time, it's its own market, but at the same time, it's a small market. So it can be tricky to find sometimes, but maybe more in software than hardware, but it can be tricky to find a product that addresses a large enough market beyond Hong Kong that also can start to take root in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong has its own unique needs and problems, but it's too small of a place to have, you know, that be your only market for your solution.
Mm-hmm. One of the key challenges we have here in Hong Kong around mental, wellness is that people don't really like to admit that they're not feeling good, or, you only have to look in an office to see everybody napping at lunch. But if you ask anybody, has anyone taken a nap today? No one wants to kind of come forward and kind of talk about why and how. So I think kind of one of our challenges is turning around the tide of rest being a positive thing, where especially here in Hong Kong, everyone feels like they have to just work, and you can't show any kind of weakness. So that's one of the things that we're dealing with.
And just the money, the high cost of living, and keeping the runway going long enough till you can raise money here as well, which can be a little bit tricky because there's only so far you can cut those costs down to here, and it still stays pretty high.
The government has been very supportive and they give us grants. The one, let's say, limitation, whatever the government provides in terms of financing, they give on a reimbursement basis. So if you have already a lot of funding, you can get a lot of it back from the government. But if you don't have anything, it's kind of it's kind of
22.
Catch-22. Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy to live in Hong Kong, especially with this crazy rent. I always seem to find myself stuck between I need to save money and you only live once. But then again, it's just me. How do startup finance themselves?
So we are pre-revenue, so we're not making any money. The Hong Kong government did give us a grant through the university that really helps us develop our prototype. But in terms of paying ourselves, we're not. We're just hiring some interns from uni that are helping us with different parts of the startup.
Well, we kind of bootstrapped originally, and we built this while having full-time jobs. So 5 a.m. starts, 2 a.m. finishes, weekends, that kind of stuff. Then bootstrapped it and kind of went to China and kind of built out the first part. I mean, we're quite lucky in a way that we managed to build something people could touch and feel and use and show some data behind it, because it's a lot easier to raise money when you're going in with something tangible. So we did a Kickstarter. We raised just shy of about 300,000 US. We only launched in January this year. I think we were the second biggest funded campaign in Hong Kong during that time last year, which was good.
Have you started shipping already?
Yeah, we've already shipped.
We're doing very well in the aspect that we've shipped about 12,500 units of the product that's been picked up by the hydro hobbyists, which are people growing plants at home, from cannabis straight the way through to normal vegetation. So our product is a key element of monitoring one of 4 indexes. So it's temperature and humidity, data logging. So in shipping that, it's allowed us to refund ourselves and look at creating a roadmap of products around that, and then bridging from residential into commercial use.
We started out with a very specific mindset of there's a talent gap in AI. We know we can earn some revenue in the short term while solving that. And we can also do market research by working closely with companies on a non-recurring basis and understanding where the problems are and where a more scalable kind of plug-and-play solution could probably fit in. So that was our approach. And so we bootstrapped it, done non-recurring revenue sources, all that good stuff, until hopefully getting some traction with our product and then getting investment.
And we'd a different approach again, and we did an accelerator here called ZeroApp.ai, which is an artificial intelligence focused accelerator. So that provided us with some kind of accelerator early stage seed capital.
Are you familiar with the term co-working? Well, Hong Kong is booming in terms of providing shared working spaces and offices, and our guests are the real proof of it.
We're at Brink, so shout out to Brink. We're in there.
Co-working accelerator.
Yeah.
And you guys?
Yeah, we're in Naked Hub.
Naked Hub. Also.
HKUST.
University.
We're in Kennedy Town, working in our partner's office, Tectos's offices.
So you have your own small office.
Yes.
And
We were also recently in Naked Hub, which is now being WeWork, purchased by WeWork, but we just moved to Cyberport, which is a similar kind of government assisted facility. Yeah.
Guys, it's almost wrap up for today's episode of Tech Money Asia show. I have only one thing left for you, and I'm asking your full attention and concentration here. The guests of today's show, these 5 cool guys, are in fact competing to be named the best startup pitch in order to be pre-selected for semi-finals of Your Way to Silicon Valley show. All I need is your votes. Choose your favorite startup by following the link below and casting your vote. Help this lucky startup to get a chance to fly to Silicon Valley and join our one-of-a-kind, mind-blowing, super cool reality show. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. And a big shout out to our venue sponsor, Tencent WeStart. And again, guys, don't forget to vote for your favorite startup right after this video. Like, share, and comment on how we're doing in here. It was Marina Bay signing off for now. Till next time.